Picture this, the headline screaming, mass deportations. The streets of Port of Spain buzzing with tension. Politicians making promises faster than a doubles vendor on Carnival Monday. But behind the drama, there's a deeper story, one about money, opportunity, and the future of the Caribbean as a whole. In today's video, we're breaking down Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar's migrant policy, why it's not really about safety, what this means for CARICOM, and how migrants are quietly shaping the economy while political fireworks steal the headlines. Before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment below. What do you think? Policy for people or policy for dollars? Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar says her migrant policy, which is not yet completed, will not be one of mass deportations of migrants. For anyone expecting fireworks, this is more of a drizzle than a hurricane, less mass deportation. More, please stand by for details. Politics, it seems, is often less about bravado and more about spreadsheets, and maybe a little about keeping your own budget alive. Speaking with the media at B-Mobile's Future Leaders internship engagement function at the Diplomatic Center, St. Anne's, yesterday, Persad-Bissessar said details on the policy will be forthcoming soon. Not mass deportation, but we are still working on that policy and you will hear about it, maybe by next week. I have people working on it, Homeland Security and others, Persad-Bissessar said. Translation: yes, we promise fireworks. No, we're giving out confetti instead, premium confetti, though, because politics is still a classy business. In the lead up to the April 28th general election, Persad-Bissessar had promised mass deportations for those migrants involved in criminal activities. The campaign trail, bold, punchy, and TV friendly. But as with all good dramas, once the cameras stop rolling, reality, complete with budget reports and logistics, takes the stage. During her presentation at the United National Congress's UNC Monday night report in Cuba, the Prime Minister again raised the issue of migrants, accusing the past government of not properly assessing Venezuelan migrants who sought refugee status in TNT. She claimed billions were spent in the last 10 years, with criminals benefiting. This is further worsened by the past administration's open and unbridled embrace of Venezuelan immigrants who poured across our borders, land and sea, and air. And numbered amongst those were gang members, human traffickers, pimps, high-powered weaponry, a well-organized criminal enterprise. That is what they allowed for the last 10 years. There was little or no attempt by our predecessors to sift through immigrants who were legitimately fleeing conditions in Venezuela from those who came here with criminal intent, she told supporters. Sure, framing it as a security crisis makes for dramatic headlines, but the reality is this is as much about money as it is about law and order. Migrants contribute to the economy, pay taxes, fill labor gaps. Deporting them en masse isn't just morally questionable. It's like tossing perfectly good cash into the sea. And nobody likes a wet wallet. In May, during a post-cabinet media briefing, the Prime Minister had said her policy would be a fair one when it is announced. I said it on the campaign trail, we are looking at it. With respect to the Venezuelans who are here, I made the statement, and we are sticking to that. If they are criminals, they will be deported. With respect to others, assessment is taking place with regards to them. It is not like we are going to pick up every one of them and send them back. But criminals will be sent back, she said then. Translation: no mass deportation, just selective deportation, because mass deportation costs more than a year of national fireworks shows and probably more headaches than a Carnival Monday hangover. Activists relieved. Responding to the assurance that there will be no mass deportations yesterday, activist Angie Ramnarine, coordinator of the La Romaine Migrant Support, and Sofia Figueroa-Leon, founder of the Caribbean Kids and Families Therapy Organization, welcomed the move. Ramnarine said, "It sounds very encouraging. I am glad to hear that it will be a fair policy." Figueroa-Leon said the news was a big breath of fresh air. She added, "I'm very happy, extremely happy to hear that the migrant program will not be one of mass deportations. Relief is real. But let's be honest, this isn't just about humanitarian concern. This is a nod to economics, regional diplomacy, and avoiding awkward CARICOM group texts. Deport thousands without care, and your neighbors notice, and nobody wants a regional group chat blowing up with angry ministers. Asked what she thought was the reason for the Prime Minister's supposed switch on migration, Ramnarine surmised it was the pressure from migrant supporters and a lack of funding. I think there would have been pressure from all quarters because we have been in limbo too long, especially agencies that work with migrants, and especially as we see the shutting down and moving out of things like the UN Human Commissioner for Refugees, UNHCR, and all these international bodies that have to do with migrants. Ah yes, the universal truth of policymaking. Follow the money or pay the price. When UNHCR pulls out, governments are left with the bills, the paperwork, and a confused population who can't just sit and wait for press releases. In January, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order temporarily suspending all foreign assistance programs for 90 days. One of the programs was the U.S. Refugee Admissions Program, USRAP. This cut in funding led to the closure of UNHCR's office in the country. August 31st will be its last day in TNT. In short, mass deportations aren't just expensive, they're impractical. And let's be real, who wants to explain a $500 million deportation bill to the public? That's one way to make a politician's hair go gray in record time. Ramnarine added that after the government changed in April, the migrant population was left confused as to what would happen to them. In 2019, the then People's National Movement government registered 16,523 Venezuelan migrants in a state-sanctioned program. The migrants were given permission to work legally, and those without a registration cards after that period were deported. The migrants in the program were given yearly renewals. However, Figueroa Leon said the past administration missed out on the opportunity to fully utilize the registered migrants, who included professionals such as doctors and engineers. She said the numbers of migrants coming to the country had reduced significantly since then. If these people were given an opportunity, you had dentists, engineers, all kinds, doctors passing through here. When they realized they could not be given an opportunity, they left for countries like Chile, Argentina, all London, Canada, the United States, and they are working there. The past government, missed the opportunity. It's a missed opportunity. So here's the real kicker. Deporting migrants may look tough on TV, but economically it's like flushing a fountain of talent down the toilet. CARICOM economies rely on labor mobility, skill sharing, and regional cooperation. Turn your back on migrants and you risk brain drain, empty pockets, and a diplomatic headache the size of Piarco Airport. At the end of the day, this isn't really about safety or crime prevention. It's about dollars, opportunity, and regional reputation. And somewhere between the political theatrics and spreadsheets, you can chuckle a little, because in the Caribbean, even migration debates come with drama, irony, and yes, the occasional budget-induced punchline. So what's the real takeaway? This isn't just about who stays and who goes. It's about dollars, skills, and the future of the Caribbean. Mass deportation might look tough on TV, but in reality, it could cost TNT and CARICOM far more than anyone bargained for. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe for more in-depth Caribbean stories, and drop a comment sharing your thoughts on migration, money, and politics in the region. And remember, in the Caribbean, the drama might be big, but the numbers, like the talent and opportunities, are even bigger. Don't miss out. Stay tuned, and let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching.